All right. Super excited to be here today for Real Estate Strategies by Remax Hallmark. My guest today is Marcus Noel, one of our great realtors in Ottawa. Marcus, tell us a little bit about yourself, and thank you for taking the time to be here.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. So like Dan said, I'm Marcus. I started in real estate in 2016. I kind of got into it originally. I was a couple years before that, kind of doing some real estate investing, buying and selling. So initially I got into it thinking that I would use the license for myself, that sort of thing. And it was a bit of a natural progression. And I just really enjoyed it. So kind of grew the business from there. And 10 years later, still with Remax.
Okay, so that was one of my first questions on how did you get started in real estate? So I think you've kind of answered that. Tell us a little bit about yourself personally. I know that you've got some new changes in the recent months.
Yes. My wife and I just had our first baby, a daughter, 2 months ago. Baby Scotty. So that's been great. And yeah, keeping us busy, but it's good. And enjoying fatherhood so far.
Excellent. So I know you've had a lot of changes in recent years, but if we can flip back to 2016, 2015, when you started in real estate, coming into it and so forth, what were your biggest challenges that you faced? Can you share those with us?
I think starting out for myself and maybe a lot of new agents is creating structure. So, you know, like what to do kind of in downtime, how to stay consistent, at times how to kind of stay motivated as well when you're not as busy as you'd like to be and sometimes not seeing the results. So I think just trying to stay consistent and surround yourself around kind of busy or successful agents helped out a lot. I was fortunate enough to have some friends kind of in the business and in the industry already. So yeah, I had a good sense and they were kind of able to kind of keep me going.
Excellent. Well, I know that about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, you started pondering about making a big decision. You were working out of your home. Things were different. Mm-hmm. You didn't have a child in the house and so forth. And then you came to me a little bit over a year ago and said, okay, I'm finally willing to take the plunge and I'd like some office space at our central location. So has that been beneficial for you to be generally in the environment and so forth? And maybe you can share how that's impacted you and the benefits that you've had from being in a hub that's vibrant and moving and so forth.
Yes, absolutely. So that was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted an office was, again, to kind of be surrounded by people and have kind of that buzz. And, you know, you come in here, you hear other people doing deals and things like that.
Sure.
And kind of keeps you going. So that was a big part of it. And then also going back to the structure, I find it helps a lot, kind of coming into the office every day and just staying consistent. So that helps a lot. And then on the flip side too, it's kind of nice for home work balance too. When you kind of go home, you feel like you're a little bit distanced from work too. So it doesn't always just mesh into one, you know, like 12-hour day type thing, which is nice. Yeah.
Well, I know things have definitely changed for you with respect to getting married recently in the last 2 years, I believe. Mm-hmm. And obviously Scotty coming along in the last couple of months. So, you know, I do see, I come in pretty early and I do see Marcus here and he's huddled down in his office and he's in a corner and so forth. And you've set it up quite nicely as an environment to work in here. Tell me about a typical day for you. And I know that things have changed. And obviously I've seen that your business has grown. So can you give some insight to the people that are tuning in, what a day might look like for you and how you manage that day?
Yeah. Like you said, I think like real estate is kind of fluid, so it can be changing. But for the most part, I try to structure my day by coming into the office specifically in the morning and trying to avoid as best as possible taking appointments or that sort of thing in the morning. That way you kind of come in, get your work done, and then book things for the afternoon. Because I find once you start going out or going on appointments, then kind of the rest of the day could get away. So if you plan on kind of doing your follow-up, your emails, your calls, everything like that in the morning, which is one of the most important parts of the business, then at least it gets that done and you kind of have the rest of the day, the afternoon, to be out and about if needed.
So working on your business and then working in your business, right? Two different things. And good for you for time blocking, and for those of you that know Marcus or don't know Marcus, he is a very successful realtor in the Ottawa community. Your business has grown considerably, even with the turbulent times to a certain degree that we're facing, or the inconsistent times that we're facing recently. Your numbers continue to grow. So that time blocking for your family and extended family, now a new family, and then for your personal time, and then separating working in your business and on your business. How do you do it where your time is essentially yours?
Yes.
Right. It's very easy to get distracted or get deflected from your priority things, which is, like you said, is your calls, is managing your scheduling and so forth, and getting those priority things, making sure that you're responding and following up.
Yep.
And I know that that's something that you're really good at.
Yes.
Is that something that you practiced? Is that something that just kind of fell into place for you? That ability to be able to be consistent with your follow-up and whatnot?
Yeah, I think practicing over time, like also kind of mindset too. Like I enjoy kind of reading real estate books and at times doing different coaching and things like that, which the consistent theme is always, the follow-up and the structure. So that's how it kind of became ingrained, and you don't always see the results right away. There's ebbs and flows, so sometimes there's downtimes and you're not seeing the results that you'd like, and it would be easy to kind of abort what you're doing. But if you kind of stay consistent and keep doing the small things, it's good. And even when times are a little bit slower, there's always opportunity to take that and use that for check-ins with clients and things like that. So if you're not busy with appointments and listings and things like that, there's always something that you can be doing.
Well, it's interesting because it's the summer months, and our office here, we're at the Bronson office, which is central Ottawa, tends to stay pretty busy regardless of the time of year. And I see that you're in here, and it's a beautiful day outside, and thank you for taking the time to sit in on this. But other than today's podcast, you're pretty much here on a regular basis. So do you take time off?
Yeah, I do take time off. In September, we're going to Nova Scotia for about 10 days. So yeah, I do take time off, and I think it's important to take time off and enjoy life as well, because there's a reason why we're all doing this, and it's not just to always be working 24/7. So I think it's good to have a balance and prioritize yourself and your family. But on the flip side, again, you have to, when you're not taking that time off, in my opinion, you have to be here and you have to be consistent, and you have to kind of be doing it every day. Otherwise, it's very easy to kind of fall out of rhythm.
So there seems to be a common theme because I look at our numbers on a regular basis. We get monthly reports and quarterly reports, and there seems to be a common theme with respect to the people that are still succeeding at a very high level, even in a market that's pulled back to a certain degree, and it has for the last couple of years, but yet your numbers have continued to grow. So tell me about where a lot of your business is coming from. Like, how have you nurtured that, and where is that flow coming from?
A lot of it, like the past couple of years now, is almost 85% either past clients or referrals from past clients. So again, I think that goes back to kind of building your business on relationships and over just being transactional. So I have clients that, like the first client that I ever helped when I got my real estate license in 2017, I'm still in contact with them. Like they bought and sold again recently. They've referred clients, recently, and these are people that I met 10 years ago. So sometimes, depending on personalities and things like that, like you might not always stay in touch with every single person, but I'd say like the majority of people that I've kind of met, we've always kind of stayed in touch. Fantastic. And it doesn't always have to be like in a sales or business type way, checking in to see if they're looking to buy or sell, like just normal conversation here and there. And, like if they're a business owner, kind of reaching out to them to see how they're doing and kind of ways that you could support them, thinking of them, when you have a need that they might be able to help serve. And so, yeah, I'd say repeat business and referral has grown significantly in the past few years and makes it a lot easier.
So you mentioned to me that your first couple of transactions came through clients that you met at open houses. Can you talk to us about that? And you must have been nervous, obviously. These are random people that you don't know. Just give us an idea of how that flowed, if you could, if you're comfortable with that, and how you were able to execute a positive scenario for those people that you had no idea who they were.
Yeah, exactly. So the first couple of clients that I had were both through the first open house that I ever did, which is rare because to get two people that actually transact in a short period of time is fortunate. But I think again, just kind of having like a natural conversation. The home that I was showing wasn't for them, but we got to chatting and just said, if this isn't the home that you're looking for, I'd be happy to help you out with something else if you don't have an agent. And I think I felt comfortable speaking with them. They felt comfortable with me, and it worked out. And I think kind of going back to that.
Well, you are a likable person, so and a charming guy. So, and that goes a long way, right? Like it sounds like making the connection was a huge thing for you. And from what we get for feedback and the people that I see that you deal with on a regular basis, because sometimes we do get involved in transactions, or Marcus will reach out and say, hey, here's a scenario that, X, Y, and Z. And I really appreciate that about you. As successful as you are, you still reach out to the team here to say, hey, how can I strategize X, Y, or Z? And for the benefit of my seller and to facilitate a positive transaction for everybody, because that's essentially what we're here for. What would your advice be today for either a newer agent getting into the real estate industry, or possibly somebody that's been around for some time and might be having a difficult time navigating what seems to be, although the basic fundamentals, the hardcore fundamentals are still exist, but things have changed.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be to somebody that's contemplating either a real estate career, somebody that's new to real estate, or possibly somebody that's been around but maybe not getting that momentum that they had hoped for?
Again, surrounding yourself around people. So if you're an individual agent, obviously coming into the office, that sort of thing. But even more than that would probably be, if you're not getting the momentum that you want, I would strongly consider like joining a successful team and kind of gaining your experience that way. I think it's better to be constantly busy, even if you're not earning as much. I think the experience and just the busyness of it is worth it to kind of build up the momentum, build up the experience, learn kind of systems, things like that. So yeah, I would suggest joining a productive team, or a team that's a good fit. Or if you are going to go on your own, just again stay consistent and surround yourself with people that are doing business, because in every market there's agents that are going to succeed no matter what the market is, and agents that are not going to succeed no matter what the market is. So right. I think it's the market does have a lot to do with it, but I think ultimately it's going to come down to the agent and kind of who you surround yourself with, being consistent, and focusing maybe on like a couple specific lead sources would be another idea. I find sometimes people kind of jump from one to the other. I think you have to give things time and to see them through.
So let's just speak about lead sources. I know today your business is 80 to 85% past clients, referrals, and so forth, but additional to that, there's that other 20% of business. So can you share with us what those lead sources are and how you generate those opportunities and what you do to secure people's trust and so forth to deal with you? Because they've got lots of choices today.
So still open houses. I
open house king here.
Yeah, I don't do as many as I would like to, and as I probably should. But I find them a great source for business. If you do them properly, I think if you just kind of show up at 2:00 and then don't follow up with anyone, it's most likely going to be a waste of time, and you'll get tired of wasting your Sunday afternoons. But if you prepare for them and you follow up with the people that want to be followed up with, I think there's a lot of opportunity in open houses. I find it's also inbound versus outbound, so that's a little bit more natural. People
right.
are walking in the house and even if they say, like they're just kind of poking around, they most likely have some sort of real estate on their mind, even if it's not immediate. So I really like open houses, but again, I don't think there's one right or wrong. I think it's just whatever fits with you, and then just stay consistent with it for a long period of time. So if you're going to do mailers, don't mail out 2 and then say it doesn't work. Like, it's going to take time.
Right. It sounds like you're purposeful, right? That's your Sunday afternoon, but you're not looking at it as 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon. You're looking at, okay, what can I do leading up to that Sunday?
Yeah.
That's going to create traction, propulsion obviously for the listing, and at the same time generate potentially some opportunities for you. It's good exposure. I know that you've been doing a little bit of social media stuff too.
Yeah.
A little more than you did in the past. And I guess that's been somewhat beneficial for you from a perspective of staying in front of your consumers and the people in your sphere. Have you benefited from social media whatsoever?
I have quite a bit. There's different types of social media,
Yeah,
obviously.
of course.
Like back around 2000, when I was in the business for about 3 or 4 years, I started to do social media ads and
The paid ads?
paid ads, and had someone that was kind of setting them up and managing kind of the database and stuff like that. So that was actually really, really good. It helped build my database, and it did generate business. And the thing I like about it is you could specifically quantify, because this specific person actually did buy a house, and where the lead came from, versus say like bench shines and things like that, which are still good, but you can't really ever track it. So there's that social media. I did that for a few years. It was very good, and then kind of stopped. And yeah, more recently, kind of trying to put some focus into making better listing videos and things like that.
Fantastic. And it's just progression, right? It's just progression. You know what, Marcus, like, it's interesting that you brought up teams earlier for people that are either having a tough time or possibly getting into the business new. I know that you've flown as a solo agent. We have a lot of teams here and a lot of choices at Remax Hallmark for people that are either contemplating or want to do a shift in their business and so forth. But yet you've stayed the course on your own and whatnot. So I think it's great that you plug that, because I agree with you. I think that if I look back at my career and so forth, I kind of wish there was more teams back then.
Yeah.
And when people ask me and they say, well, there's X number of dollars that I'm going to be potentially giving to the team and so forth, I usually explain to them, I think what you will learn in 36 months, maybe 48 months, and where your business will be and your strengths and your confidence in 36 months would probably take you 5 to 6, maybe 7 years to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just with the support of a team, and at the same time also getting the support from us as a brokerage and all the training and so forth that we have.
There's also a cost to kind of being on your own a little bit too, because there's a lot more trial and error. Maybe paying for things, trying things, you know what I mean, versus a team. So,
Right.
In the end, who knows exactly kind of how
Yeah,
things
you've got
shake
through a
out.
few of those things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think we've all tried certain things and so forth. But I mean, basically what you've talked to us about today, and I thank you for taking the time, is the basic fundamental of communication, relationships, follow-up,
Yeah.
consistency.
Yeah. One example of the follow-up that just came to mind, it's good because it's recent, is I was picking up a couch from someone for a family member of mine on Kijiji, like about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And she was at the time kind of I went there and her house was like a little disarray. She was kind of in the middle of getting rid of stuff. And anyway, she'd mentioned that she was planning on moving back to Toronto, but wouldn't be kind of moving for about a year or so. So I said, I'm a realtor. I'd be happy to kind of stay in touch, and when the time comes, help you out. And she was very polite, but she said, I'm happy to kind of keep in touch, but I do have like a realtor in mind that, I'd probably work with. And I said, okay, well, we'll keep in touch. And anyways, that was, like I said, close to a year and a half ago. And every now and then we just kind of connect or touch base. And she did move to Toronto, just closed a couple weeks ago. And things didn't end up working with her realtor that she had in mind. And sure enough,
good for you. I think that's amazing. I think that as professionals that serve community, obviously always keeping an ear out and an eye open for opportunity, And look, I mean, it started with you going there just to pick something up. And I know myself, for example, I've got my Remax pin on. I leverage that all the time because it does turn into conversations, and people do certainly say, "Oh, you're with Remax," and it's about learning to know how to take it from there.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what you did. So congratulations on staying in touch and staying consistent. Even the open houses, you know, as a veteran realtor, you're still doing them and want to do them more often because you know that there's a benefit. On the flip side, I have conversations with agents, and most of the time I'll hear, "Oh, well, most people already have a realtor," and so forth. And it sounds like you're not close to that. Like you're, you know, there's still going to be an opportunity. Somebody else is going to drop the ball. And as long as you keep in touch, you're adding another potential, transaction or deal with a consumer and a way to help a consumer. Marcus, I think, you know, unless you've got something to add, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, giving us a little bit of insight about who you are, what you do, how you serve the Ottawa community, the Ottawa real estate community. Congratulations on being a new husband or newer husband and a new dad. We think it's amazing. I've known you since your real estate career pretty much. And definitely there's been some changes, and all I've seen you is going up and up and up. So wishing you continued success. And do you want to share possibly your contact information if anybody's looking to buy, sell, invest, or just for some advice, whether you're a consumer or a realtor?
Yeah, sure. Always happy to chat. And my phone number, which they could post, 613-864-6635, or noelproperties.ca.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.